Now let's look at the contributions of the introducer of social constructivism. We always talk about the difference between olden classroom and the modern classroom. And we tell that the most important difference between the olden classroom and modern classroom is that olden classrooms were following behaviorism and nowadays we are following constructivism. And nowadays we are following social constructivism, and social constructivism is a contribution of Vygotsky. The coming slides I will be showing you the contributions of this great psychologist. The former two people were philosophers, Rousseau and Froebel. And here we are talking about the contribution of one of the greatest psychologists of the modern times, Vygotsky. Vygotsky's socio-cultural learning. First of all, I will give you a short biography of this man. He was born in 1896 in Osha, Belarus, and admitted to Moscow State University through Jewish lottery. He was a Jew, and Jews were admitted through some reservation, and he got admission in Moscow State University. He studied law, medicine, history, philosophy, and graduated in 1917. He began his career as a researcher at Psychological Institute in Moscow in 1924. He completed his dissertation in 1925. He is one of the greatest psychologists during the modern times. According to Vygotsky, social interaction plays a vital role in cognitive development. You might have learned different theories of learning in psychology, or you will be learning the theories during the second semester or during any semester of your B.Ed course. And he was a proponent of cognitive learning. The people who promote cognitive learning believe that learning occurs through cognitive domain. Learning is meaningful. Learning is not mechanical. Learning is meaningful. You learn a thing by thinking about that thing, by thinking different aspects of that particular thing. So then only learning occurs, according to cognitive theorists. And he tells that for the cognitive development of a person, or for the intellectual development of a person, there should be social interaction. Your cognitive domain gets widened, it gets improved, it gets developed only through some interaction with others. And he sees child as a product of social interaction, not an individual. He believes that no child is an individual. Each and every child is a product of social interaction. You become you not by yourselves. You become you not by your intellectual thinking. You are a part of a society. You are a part of a social order. So you are a product of social interaction. You are developing yourselves not by yourselves, but through interacting with others. And he tells that child's development is not as a part of universal features, but it is related to the culture he belongs to. He sees that learning is not something universal. Learning is related to your cultural background. When you interact with your cultural background, learning occurs. I often give a definition to education. Education is the modification of the behavior of a particular individual to make him able to lead a meaningful life in the society where he belongs to. Actually, you are giving education to make a student, to make a person lead a meaningful life in the society where he belongs to. If he is not able to live a meaningful life in the society he belongs to, the education he gets is useless. So child's development is not a part of universal features, but it's related to the culture he belongs to. So there is socio-cultural interaction among the children. Then only you can tell that learning occurs. And he tells that there are two types of interaction, or two types of interaction. Interpsychological means you're interacting with others. When you interact with others, there is some psychological interaction, because your behavior, the science of behavior is considered nowadays as psychology. So there is interpsychological interaction and intrapsychological interaction. Sometimes you interact with yourselves. As we told in the case of communication, intrapersonal communication. When you interact with yourselves, then you get some confidence, you get some knowledge, you get some skills. So a person's cultural development has two stages. One is intrapsychological development, other is interpsychological developments. When you see a person or when you interact with a person, you get some behavioral patterns, and you just ask yourselves whether this behavioral pattern will be suitable for you. So there is intrapsychological and interpsychological cultural development. And he introduced the concept of MKO, more knowledgeable others. So you have to combine each and every point. Okay, I will be giving you some points, then you have to combine, you have to make a synthesis among all these points, then only you can understand things. MKO means more knowledgeable others. Anyone who keeps better understanding level than the child. And this MKO may be an elder student. For example, if you are an 8th standard student, a 9th standard student can be an MKO for you. Or an MK peer. If you are an 8th standard student, sometimes your classmate, some of your classmates may be more knowledgeable than you. Then he also can be considered as an MKO for you. Then the teacher definitely will be an MKO, more knowledgeable others. Then the parents also would be some more knowledgeable others in some cases. So he introduced this MKO. MKO is some people who have got more knowledge than some other people. And you get some knowledge by interacting with these people. Okay. And he introduced the concept of ZPD, zone of proximal development. According to Vygotsky, there are 3 different zones related to the ability of a child. The first stage is child can do alone, without getting any assistance from MKO, without get any assistance from the teacher, without get any assistance from the parent, without get any assistance from the senior students. Because he has got some capacity, he has got some knowledge, he has got some skills by observing others. And see, when you teach a symbol, when you teach a theory to your students, the first part of, the basic part of that theory will not be needed to be taught, because they know they can get some ideas about some aspects of some learning material or some events without getting assistance from others. And the second stage is ZPD. Here the child can do only with the assistance of an mentor. Here he will not be able to find out some problems. He will not be able to define some theories or some aspects of theories himself. He needs an assistance from others. And this is ZPD, zone of proximum development. Then the third stage is child cannot do, impossible for him, because he hasn't got that much growth and development. See, if you are teaching a theory which is taught to a 10 standard student to an 8 standard student, the 8 standard student may not be able to understand that theory because he hasn't got that much development to realize that particular concept. You can never teach a theory which you are teaching to college students to 10 standard students. It is impossible for him. Impossible that he hasn't got that much maturity. He hasn't got that much skill to catch such a point. So I may show you a picture. Here you can see child can do alone. Child cannot do impossible, and there is ZPD, zone of proximal development. And here comes the importance of the teacher. Actually, child can construct knowledge through interaction with others, and he should construct knowledge through interaction with others, and this interaction may be with some MKOs. Some items, some basic principles of some theories or some concepts can be understood by the child himself by reading books or by making use of his own previous experiences. And the most important duty of the teacher is to help the students to reach the proximum development, zone of proximum development, by giving some assistance. And according to Vygotsky, teachers should not teach each and everything, but teachers should make them construct knowledge through some interactions. I may give you an example from English language teaching. If you are teaching a new word, in the past, you would just tell the word and then you would just tell the meaning of the word. For example, if you teach the meaning of the word erect, then you will tell your student, my dear students, there is a new word, erect. Erect means straight. So you are teaching them. You are not making them construct the knowledge. Actually, erect is a new word. If you tell straight, then they can realize, because there is no need for assistance from others, because they have been hearing this word from others informally, maybe informally. But if you introduce the word erect, then they may not be able to catch the meaning of the word. And when you teach this word, you should make them construct, and you should be a helper. You should be a helper. That means you should be, actually, according to Vygotsky, learner constructs new knowledge, information, skill, etc., but through social interaction. They construct, but there should be interaction with some MKOs. And I may explain this one. Yes. Teacher should be a scaffolder who would realize the ZPD of his learner and would assist him construct his own knowledge and skills. Teacher should realize the ZPD. And teacher should not try to teach anything which comes beyond the ZPD of the student. They will not be able to realize. Teachers should not use a language which is applicable for some college students to school students. Okay. So here, as I told, if you are teaching the word erect, actually you are not. In the past, you would teach the word directly. There is a new word, erect. Erect means straight. Instead of doing that, you would make an interaction between with them, and you should make them construct knowledge. So you just show your finger, just like this. Then you can ask, my dear students, what is this? They will be answering. Yes, they must be answering. It is your finger, sir. Then you just ask them, is it straight or bent? Then they will tell, sir, it is straight. Then you can tell, so my finger is erect. Then you can ask them, then what is the meaning of the word erect, my dear students? Then they will tell straight. Actually, you are not telling that erect means straight, but you make them tell erect means straight before you tell. So you just show an activity, you just show your finger and ask them, my dear students, what is this? Then they will tell, sir, your finger. Then you just ask them whether it is it straight or bent? Then they will tell straight. So they told the meaning of the word first. Then you can tell, so my finger is erect. It means that my finger is, they will tell straight, construction. You're becoming a scaffolder. Yes. So this is the duty of the teacher, just to realize the ZPD of your student. And ZPD will be on the basis of the age level. Actually, you might have learned growth and development. You know the development, the mental development of a 5-year-old boy or girl. You know the mental development of a 13-year-old child. And on the basis of these psychological concepts of growth and development, maybe some exceptional cases are there, some gifted children are there, but most of the people keep the general characteristics of growth and development. And on the basis of growth and development, the concepts of growth and development, you should realize the ZPD of your students. And if there is a gifted child in your class, then you should find out his ZPD and you should give special instruction to such students. So teacher is a scaffolder. That means teacher is an MKO. Teacher should act as an MKO inside the classroom and just give assistance to the students to construct knowledge. Yes, got. Then you cannot use some lecture method in your classroom. You should make use of these activities inside the classroom. Group activities. I told you that some students will be MKO. In the same classroom, some students will be MKOs for others. In the case of mathematics, some students will be MKO for others. In the case of English language, some other students may be MKOs for others. Then group activities. When you conduct group activities inside the classroom, there will be different students and they will interact with others and there will be some collaboration of ideas. If a particular student has got some ideas and if he hasn't got some other ideas, he can get such ideas from others. So by group activities, you can make them construct knowledge. Then group projects. When you are giving some projects, instead of giving individual projects, you can give group projects. Then they will go for collecting data together and there will be some collaboration. Then pair works. You can do some pair works. You can select pairs. Then you can tell them do works together. Then senior junior contact sessions. Okay, you can make some senior junior contact sessions. Sometimes students will not be ready to ask questions freely. to the teachers, but they will be ready to ask questions without any hesitation to their senior students. So you can just make a contact between senior students and junior students. And similarly, you should make use of field trips. You should make them reach railway stations, and you should make them meet the station masters and people at the counter to learn how to reserve tickets instead of teaching them theoretically. They will communicate with the people, because here railway station master and the people at the counters are MKOs for the students. They can interact and they can learn how to reserve tickets and such things. You can make a community contact, you can make use of. If you want to teach the culture of a particular group of the society, you will just make the students contact the leaders of that community. Then they should construct knowledge. Then interview projects, you can make them interview experts from different areas. For example, if you are teaching some literary pieces, you can make them interview a so-called literary person to know different aspects of poetry, prose and such things. Then there should be consultation hours. Teacher is an MKO. And if you provide them some consultation hours, when they learn something at home, sometimes they may be in need of your assistance. So you can schedule some consultation hours from 4 to 5. Then they can contact you and they can clarify their doubts and they can construct their knowledge. So all these activities, nowadays we see all these activities inside the classroom: discussion, debate, collaborations, field trips, community contact programs, simulation, dramatization. And all these are the results or the products of the concept of social constructivism introduced by Vygotsky. So we construct knowledge according to Vygotsky. So you should make your students construct knowledge. Maybe it's science, maybe it's mathematics, maybe it's English language, maybe it's some other languages, maybe it's social science. You should make them construct knowledge. Once I had to observe a class given by an IGNO student, IGNO BEd student. His name was Ramesh. He was a teacher and he wanted to get promotion from in his post. So he just started doing BEd course here at KSI Training College. And I just went to observe his class as the part of internal assessment. Then he was teaching social science. He made use of wonderful piece of social constructivism there. He was teaching barter system. And he just asked the students whether they were selling some items at their locality during the vacation. Then some students tell yes, they would prepare some tent and they would sell some items. Then the teacher asked, are you selling the items only for money? Then one student told that no, if the customers bring some cashew nut, if they bring 2 cashew nuts, then I will give them 1 chocolate for 2 cashew nuts. Then the teacher told, this is constructivism, this is barter system. Then what is barter system? The teacher asked. Then the students told, barter system is exchanging items. So here the teacher did not tell barter system is exchanging items for some other items, but he made the students tell that barter system is exchanging items with some other items, so selling items for some other items by asking questions on their own life experiences. So this is social constructivism. And this is what is happening nowadays. Now we are following social constructivism. There is issue-based curriculum too. I will be talking about issue-based curriculum, a contribution of some other educationists. But Vygotsky is one of the greatest personalities who contributed to modern educational system. There is a huge pedagogical shift from behaviorism to constructivism. And Vygotsky contributed much to this pedagogical shift. And see, when you conduct some group activities inside your classroom, you should group students in a particular way. You should not group them randomly. I told you that there will be some MKOs in your classroom. So you should group on the basis of this MKO. So each and every group should have some MKOs. You should not group all the students who are poor in mathematics in a particular group when you are giving an activity related to mathematics. So you should make a group by including brilliant students, above average students, average students, below average students in a particular group. Each group should consist of different students of different understanding levels to ensure that each and every group has got some MKOs, and this is something important. And during the group activity, actually nowadays people believe, or teachers believe, that they have escaped because they can just enter the classroom and they can just make some groups and they can just let them participate in group activities and they can be away from the group activity. And this is not right. The teachers should give opportunity for clarifying their doubts by consulting him, as he is the best MKO inside the classroom. And this is something important. Though there are some other MKOs, some student MKOs in each group, those MKOs may not be able to clarify some doubts. They also may have some doubts. And these doubts should be clarified by the teacher. So the teacher should be an active part of the group activities. Teacher cannot escape from the group activities. Teachers also should be a part of the group activities by asking questions, by giving clues, by giving tips, and by clarifying the doubts of the students. So these are the contributions of Vygotsky. Now I feel that you have got a thorough idea on social constructivism. So students should be taught each and everything through construction of knowledge, and this construction occurs through social interaction. So let them interact with others and construct their knowledge. Thank you.